Arcane is over, and while I think the final act of Season 2 was a near perfect send-off to one of the best TV shows I've ever seen, there is something bugging me. There's a problem with Arcane's ending, a problem that I didn't even think about while I was watching the finale. Jinx is alive. While this isn't 100% confirmed, the show did drop enough hints in the last few moments of the finale to make this theory a foregone conclusion. This is an interesting choice, and for me constitutes this season, and perhaps Arcane as a whole's biggest mistake. Jinx not dying in Season 2 is arguably one of the series' most significant narrative missteps, undermining the dramatic stakes and emotional payoff of its own storytelling. Her survival may serve a practical purpose in maintaining her role as a key player in the overarching story Riot is trying to tell, but it feels like a disservice to the weight of her arc and the thematic resonance the show has meticulously built around her character. There's a rule I like to use when talking about reviving characters, and it's if you bring a character back, you undermine the impact of their death. Jinx had an amazing death scene, so her sneaking away into the air vents feels like a cop-out, which makes the entire brilliant scene feel cheap upon rewatching it. Throughout Arcane, Jinx's story is one of tragedy and self-destruction. Her transformation from Powder to Jinx symbolizes the irreversible cost of trauma, grief, and manipulation. Her death at the climax of Season 2 could have served as a cathartic resolution, emphasizing the destructive nature of her choices and the ripple effects of neglect and exploitation in a world teetering on the brink of collapse. Jinx has been ready to die since her fight with Echo in Season 1, so having her escape her death feels like it goes against her character. At the start of the final episode, Jinx is fully ready to end her own life, and Echo convinces her to go out doing something worth it. And this is what she does. She dies saving Vi, ending her life with a show of selflessness. By keeping her alive, the show seems hesitant to fully commit to the consequences of her character, which diminishes the emotional stakes and the series' overarching themes of loss. One of Arcane's greatest strengths lies in its ability to make the audience feel the gravity of every decision, every betrayal, and every sacrifice. The world of Piltover and Zaun is steeped in violence and tragedy, where no one is truly safe from the consequences of their own actions. However, Jinx's survival at the end of Season 2 compromises this narrative's credibility, suggesting that certain characters are shielded from the harsh realities of this world. Jinx's survival introduces a sense of plot armor that undermines the show's otherwise ruthlessly efficient storytelling. In Season 1, Arcane proved that it wasn't afraid to make bold and devastating choices, whether it was through Vander's self-sacrifice, Silco's death, or Jace's accidental killing of a child. These moments reinforce the idea that actions have consequences, and that no one is immune to the unforgiving nature of their environment. Also, if Jinx sacrifices herself and she just miraculously lives, she's not really sacrificing herself. By keeping Jinx alive, the show disrupts this precedent, signaling that some characters are too important to lose. Rather, regardless of how destructive or narratively complex their arcs might be, some characters are spared from these consequences. This undermines the tension that has defined Arcane, where viewers are constantly on edge, uncertain of who will live or die. If Jinx, who embodies chaos and destruction, cannot be allowed to fall, it raises questions about how much her survival is based off of a character arc, or based on the fact that Riot doesn't want to get rid of her character and plans to use it in more ways. Jinx's survival also softens the impact of her actions in the story's world. Over the course of the series, she has caused immense destruction, from her accidental role in Vander's death to her direct involvement in the bombing of Piltover's council chamber. Her descent into and then out of madness has left a trail of devastation that has deeply affected not only Vi, but also countless other lives. Not to sound like an enforcer, but you do need to be held accountable for your actions. In the end, Jinx's arc is done by the time she chooses to sacrifice herself. Jinx has been looking for a way to rest since Vi left her in Season 1. She needs a place where she can finally be free and know that the people she cares about will be safe. She is a character in constant conflict with herself, and in this moment she is able to find her peace. Can't we just let her have it?